What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for Collision Discourse number 44 for the October 5th, 2024 edition of AEW Collision as only we can. And to do that, I am running solo once again. Solo Jones over here. SP3, your main man, your MC for Collision Discourse. I thought it was going to be a different week, guys. I thought we were going to have the sober guy JJ here, but he is busy on this Monday afternoon once again. So I'm riding solo with all of you guys. Happy Monday indeed. Let's talk some Collision Discourse. I appreciate y'all if you are joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you are watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on the video. Help the YouTube algorithms, if you will. And, of course, hit the subscribe button for more True Heel Heat content. We're here pretty much 7 days a week with all the pay-per-views going on in the world. You never get a day off, do I? Never get a day off. Seems like ever. I was here yesterday with our Bad Blood review. I was here the day before with I think the True Heel Heat flagship podcast. There before that with the Vince McMahon documentary review, and now it's time to talk some Collision. So I appreciate y'all. Hit the bell to stay notified as we're closing in on 18,000 subscribers here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. You're watching us on Facebook. Drop a thumbs up, a heart emoji, an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However, AEW Collision made you feel, got me a little bit angry at times. So get into that. But also, as always, sound off in the live chat. Love to interact with all of you guys. You guys are my co-hosts when I am running solo here. So we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Sound off in the live chat. If you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, and you want to troll Sober Guy JJ for not showing up to work, send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. Goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And for this one, it goes to me. I got kids to feed, and they're getting big. They need more food. Thank you, guys. We got JP Loves Gaming in the chat. Hello to you, JP. Good to see you in the chat today, saying happy Monday, y'all. We also got my good brother G-Loke in the chat. G-Loke Crips up. He says, what it do at True Heel Heat? Ready for another banger. Let's go smash up that like indeed. And he says, we got your back. Thank you. Thank you. You always have my back, sir. We got Johnny in the chat saying Tony forgot he didn't have enough women baby faces as title contenders. Yeah, so he decided to turn someone back babyface that just turned heel like yesterday. What are we doing? What are we doing, AEW? Seriously. That just like, we talked about the report that came out on Saturday on the flagship podcast, but to see how every
it's even messing up my mic. It unplugged my mic. That's how Tony Khan has pissed me off so much.
There we go. That's much better. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Tony Khan, you done pissed me off so much I fucked up my mic. Thanks, Tony. But we got in the chat Will Chisholm, who says, I got so mad when I heard the reason why they turned Kris babyface. What was the point of turning her heel anyway? Exactly. It was such a dumb reason. You did not need to split up Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. Stokely Hathaway is one of the most entertaining people in this goddamn company. You're telling me you don't think that the fans will cheer Stokely Hathaway? All you had to do is feud Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway against Mercedes Moné and Camille, and the fans would have chose Kris Statlander as the babyface. You could have organically made Kris Statlander a babyface again. You could have kept her in her same character with Stokely, just have her feud against Mercedes, because Mercedes is not liked by the fans. She is very much a heel. I said it from the very beginning of Mercedes Moné being in this company. She is one of the most natural heels in the game. And all you had to do is keep Kris Statlander under her current character and just feud her with Mercedes Moné, and the fans would have done all the work for you, Tony. You overthought it, and you fumbled the bag. You fumbled there. Completely fumbled. We got Johnny in the chat. He says AEW is 50-50 on long-term booking. It's very much so. I agree with that. I argued with people in the chat who said AEW has horrible storytelling or horrible booking. And no, it's very much 50-50. Sometimes they do very great long-term storytelling. Your Hangman Adam Page versus your Soro Strickland, your Mariah May versus Timeless Tony Storm. This is just this year. They've done great long-term storytelling. But it's very much a lot of the other parts of the card, like 50%, half of the storytelling and the characters that we see. It just feels like it's done week to week. They forget the last week, don't follow up with the next week, and it's really even more glaring. Now that we don't have the specter of the TV deal out the way, he's gotta get better with this stuff. He's gotta get better, because you got this new TV deal. Now you're worried about the next TV deal in 3 to 4 years, and you gotta improve on your storytelling, because your faults are even more noticeable when WWE is putting on some really good to great storytelling on their end. You gotta fix this, Tony. You gotta fix this. And yes, Tony Khan was listening, and that's why he cut my mic. He was like, nah, I ain't gonna have you talk shit about me. We know Tony Khan watches. We appreciate watching. We appreciate him for watching. I went back to my mic. My mic finally came back on after Tony cut me. We got Alex Powell, who says that was a dumb reason to split the pairing. For anyone who doesn't know, the Fightful Select reported, Sean Ross Sapp on his Fightful report reported that the option to continue that story wasn't available to them. They didn't have the option to continue that story. What the fuck happened? Did Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway just stop being friends, stop talking to each other? What the fuck happened? I'm cursing outside of the 10-minute window where I usually try to keep myself at, but silly. It's just silly. Even G Lug saying, yes, that brother Stokely made her pop. He makes everybody pop. Come on, Stokely Hathaway is entertaining as hell. Alex Powell says, anyways, I just watched Ray versus Nigel from UK and Steel Cage Warfare. Well, you stay talking about some ROH stuff from the past, man. We're here to complain about Tony Khan and his lack of long-term booking. That's what we're here for. Johnny says, hopefully it's Mariah May versus Baker versus Willow at WrestleDream. I don't know. That's like, that would be a second three-way matchup on the WrestleDream card. I don't know. I think Willow is the one that's been feuding with Mariah May. So maybe we get Willow versus Mariah one-on-one at WrestleDream, and they save Baker for Mariah's challenger going into like full gear. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know with Tony Khan's booking anymore. I'm getting a little frustrated. But let's get into things. Let's get into AEW Collision from this past Saturday, October 5th, 2024. It took place from Toledo, Ohio. The crowd was fine. This was taped on a Thursday. It aired on a Saturday. Sometimes when they tape a show, the crowd doesn't always seem like on fire as hot as it usually is if it's a live show. So I'll take that into account as well. They were fine. The show kicked off Collision with Darby Allen coming to the ring for our opening contest. Tony Schiavone, Nigel McGuinness on the call, and you got Darby Allen going one-on-one with Johnny TV. Allen controlled the early stage of this matchup until Johnny caught him with a poke to the eye. Johnny tied Allen up in the ropes and hit a nice little sliding German suplex for a near fall early on in this one. You get some really kind of Johnny like taking control of things, using his underrated kind of power and leg strength for different moves. He hit like a nice side Russian leg sweep off the apron to the floor. Darby Allen taking a wicked bump. What's new? Johnny hit a rising knee to Allen on the steps, sending him to the floor. He tried for a corkscrew splash off the steps to the floor, but Allen evaded and hit a coffin splash off the top rope to the floor. Johnny swept Allen's legs from under him on another coffin drop attempt and hit a corkscrew kick to Allen in the ropes. He tried to go for Starship Pain, but Darby was able to move out the way. Johnny then caught him on the coffin splash and hit a nice little Uranagi out of a Razor's Edge attempt. Johnny went for another Starship Pain, but Allen was able to invade once again. He hits a code breaker for a near fall, and then he goes up to the top rope. He hits a coffin drop to a standing Johnny and just mushes his face as he gets the 1, 2, 3. Darby Allen picking up the win here, and what I thought was a fine little opener here. Nothing to write home about. Darby Allen is one of the all-time best television wrestlers ever, so he's never going to have a bad matchup, but this was fun. Darby took the mic and he challenged anybody once again to answer his challenge for WrestleDream coming up this Saturday. He says no one did, even after Allen challenged them to not let an opportunity to make their name pass them by. The challenge seemed to go unanswered. Darby went to leave through the babyface entrance, but out of nowhere came Brody King, bum rushing Allen, making him drop down the ramp here on Collision. And the overpowering rival of Brody King, they went 1-1. This was back in 2022, with Darby never getting a pinfall victory over Brody King. He beat him in a coffin match at Quake by the Lake in 2022, but they haven't faced in one-on-one action since then. He took him up. He power bombs him on the apron. He then starts freaking yoking Darby, putting him up against the ring post and acting like he's a little nerd and Brody King is his bully. And he accepts his challenge and promises just violence at WrestleDream. So it is official. It will be Brody King going one-on-one with Darby Allen coming up at WrestleDream this Saturday, October 12th. I think that this was a great addition to the card for WrestleDream. You got two guys from the Washington area that are going to show out on this card. And it's these two guys have just great chemistry with one another. Darby Allen, we all know when he's facing someone that's bigger than him, he's going to put his body on the line and he's just going to get his body wrecked by the bigger man. And he's going to be tossing him around. Darby's going to be taking some crazy bumps. Brody King knows how to work with Darby Allen. And these two guys are friends in real life. If you weren't aware, they're friends in real life. And I always said it once, I'll say it again. Whenever you're friends with someone in professional wrestling, you seem to hit them harder. The matches seem to be a little bit more stiffer and a little bit more realistic. And that's what I'm looking for here. And it's a matchup that I feel like the WrestleDream card desperately needed. This is one of the more lackluster builds to an AEW pay-per-view because of how many special editions of Dynamite we've had over the last couple of weeks. Last week was AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary. Week before that was Grand Slam. 2 weeks before that was All Out. So they have not been focusing on building up the card for WrestleDream. You got Title Tuesday this coming Tuesday. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern time, by the way, for anyone who's going to be just forgot that AEW mentioned this. Tomorrow is Dynamite, not on Wednesday. It's going to be tomorrow for Dynamite. We will still be live on Thursday to review Dynamite and maybe some parts of NXT as well on Thursday with AE Ramble, but Dynamite will be on Tuesday. But the card for WrestleDream desperately needed a must-see matchup, and Darby Allen and Brody King, I think, fits the bill here. We got Will Chisholm. He says, I'm glad they let people know who Darby's open challenge is because we thought it was Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I think Bobby Lashley is going to be more directed at Swerve Strickland. Him and Swerve Strickland seem like they're on a collision course. I don't think that match is going to go down at WrestleDream. I think at WrestleDream, you get the return of Swerve Strickland and then the debut of Bobby Lashley. Not in a matchup, more in like an angle. A non-wrestling angle, which I think also this card desperately needs stuff like that. A big debut, a big return, back-to-back. The card for WrestleDream needs some stuff like that on it. Next, we got one of my favorite segments of the whole show. Sorry, guys. I'm easy to please. It's the Outrunners in a video where they're training FTR how to get more of that stuff. You see them, as you said, FTR X's the Outrunners. How do we get that stuff? And he's like, you got to train, you got to get big. So we see them working out in the gym. They said you need to get the look. So you see them, they're tanning, even though the sun isn't out, which Dax Harwood notes. And then they also bleach Dax's mustache blonde. And they give him the sunglasses. They got the colorful shirts. And they got the stuff to complete their training here, and they do the Predator handshake, you son of a bitch. And that leads nicely into the Outrunners going up against GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. This was a very interesting matchup here because James Drake and Zach Gibson are a very complete tag team. They know how to work their styles, especially being the heels against popular baby faces like the Outrunners. And the Outrunners are very much an 80s throwback. A lot of their moves, they're doing atomic drops out there. They're doing Manhattan drops out there. They're running wild with double teams before we go to a commercial break. We come back from commercial break and the veterans are working over Magnum after the break, with Magnum trying to fight for the tag and finally getting it. Turbo Floyd comes in and he starts running wild. He pinballs the veterans with body slam. We get body slam after body slam after body slam after body slam. They hit the Predator double elbow drop, but Gibson shoves Magnum off the top rope and isolates him. Floyd shoved Drake off the top rope on a Doomsday attempt, and then we get Magnum rolling up Gibson 1, 2, 3 with a victory roll. And yes, the Outrunners have defeated the Grizzled Young Veterans. My lord, was Tony Khan that disappointed by GYV versus FTR? I think he expected that to be like the tag team matchup that revived the tag team division, but you're going to need more than GYV to revive this tag division. You're going to need the stuff, and the Outrunners are the stuff. I thought this was a solid matchup. The Outrunners are just so popular, and I'm really getting into their act, even their in-ring work. I'm more into their characters right now, but their in-ring work and how very 80s based they are with the body slams, atomic drop, Manhattan drop, the total recall. I told you, I'm on the Outrunners bandwagon. We need more Outrunners wins to get us to the Outrunners versus the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles. I'm hoping that goes down at Full Gear, but until then, I'm riding the wave of the Outrunners. GYV, though, man, they have not even gotten a nudge, let alone a push. They've not got a nudge since coming to AEW. Hey, go for it. Ninja Mortis says, I hate this, but good for the Outrunners. They're super over. You got to go with it, man. You got to go with the flow. If something gets over the way that the Outrunners have gotten over organically, you have to roll with it. I am a fan of the GYV, and I would have liked them to get more of a push on AEW TV, but you got to go with the hot hand. You got to go with the hot hand. Power Driver Finisher saying, Darby was disappointed. I'm a big Outrunners fan, but he should just pit him against other teams. But I love Outrunners. I love the Outrunners too. I wouldn't be jobbing out the GYV the way they have since they just got to AEW at All In and they're already taking 2 big losses. Alex Biles says Outrunners versus FTR or Bucks is what the division needs. You need Outrunners versus Bucks. That's the matchup. Not Outrunners versus FTR. We already seen that. We need Outrunners versus the Young Bucks, the 80s aesthetic of the Outrunners versus the very gimmicky dickhead EVPs. That's the type of feud this division needs desperately. We get a video package for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Baker noted that she hadn't had a one-on-one AEW Women's World title match since she lost the title back in 2022. Baker challenged Mariah May to an AEW Women's World title match, but she also said that she's going to be waiting for a fight on Title Tuesday, this coming Tuesday on Dynamite. That led in naturally into the Conglomeration backstage, ready for a promo ahead of their matches on Collision. Lexi Nair is interviewing him when Willow Nightingale wants to take the reins of this interview. She says that she heard what Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, had to say, and she needs to wait in line because she wanted Mariah May first. Mark Briscoe cuts one of his wacky promos, and the word of the day is diversification. And also sophistication, because he has got the diversification, and that's what the Conglomeration got. And they're going to get the job done and show their sophistication against the Learning Tree, against the premier athletes, against Trish Adora and the Infantry. Yeah. Gotta love Mark Briscoe. And that's my Mark Briscoe impersonation for this episode. Leave your tips with your drivers. I accept Super Chat donations. That led into Mariah May watching Willow Nightingale going one-on-one with Trish Adora. Willow Nightingale trying to pick up some victories as she makes her way to an AEW Women's World title matchup. May was at ringside. We get a code of honor adhered to between Willow and Trish early on. Willow hits her low cost body for a near fall. Adora scores a kick and then does a split on top of Nightingale while she does an arm lock. I love when she does that and pops the ass on Willow's back. Nightingale pounced Adora on this one, pouncing her right out of her shoes. It felt like just damn, halfway across the ring. Adora had Nightingale twisted in a pretzel when we come back from commercial break before dropping her with a neck breaker. Nightingale made her comeback, but Adora cut her off with a crossbody. Adora got a near fall with a pair of suplexes. I love her German suplex that she does from the knees. It always looks really good. Nightingale booted away a lariat, the Lariat Tubman, and she snatched up Adora, hitting her with the babe with the power bomb with the 1, 2, 3. Willow Nightingale picking up a big victory here on Collision. Post-match, Willow went outside and stared down with the AEW Women's World Champion. May shoves the belt into Willow's face and went to slap her, but Willow blocked the slap and then bounced her around ringside, tossing her over the barricade. May escaped before Willow was able to score with the Babe with the powerbomb, and Willow Nightingale stands tall once again against Mariah May, and this rivalry is heating up, it seems. We went backstage after the commercial break, and Mariah May was with Lexi Nair. She was upset at everyone coming after her and her title in AEW. She says, "What is this, AEW or her DMs?" We get Tony Khan avatar Christopher Daniels, who enters the frame, and he books Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale for Title Tuesday tomorrow night on Dynamite, with the winner getting a title shot at Mariah May at WrestleDream. So it's kind of Title Tuesday, number one contender Tuesday. I guess. But yes, it is official. It is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, going one-on-one with Willow Nightingale. The winner faces Mariah May for the AEW Women's World title at WrestleDream. It does not make any sense that Willow Nightingale lost the feud with Kris Statlander, yet she's going for the title that's higher up on the food chain than Kris is. Yes, Kris is going for a title, which is all fine and dandy, but she's also going for a title that she's already held. So I think that Kris Statlander, to many people, including myself, it should be a future AEW Women's World Champion. So, on the other hand, should be Willow Nightingale. But the fact that you had Kris Statlander beat Willow Nightingale at All Out, she should be in contention, especially if you're turning her babyface anyway. She should be in contention for the AEW Women's World title. You should get Willow in trying to get back her TBS championship. That would make more sense if Willow was like, hey, I need to get back to bases. I need to get back the title that I lost to Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing. Now that Mercedes is officially aligned as a heel, it might work better the second time around between Willow and Mercedes. Willow and Mercedes have unfinished business because now they're 1-1 in their two matches that they've been up against each other. You didn't have to create a whole new rivalry for Statlander to go after a title she's already held that's lower on the food chain than the woman that she beat at the last pay-per-view. That doesn't make any sense. So this is very convoluted, but Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale is two stars going against each other, so I'm not going to complain that much about that part of this. Fire Driver Finisher saying Willow has to win this title. He also says, I agree, one has to go over the other, but I think Willow wins months from now and we get Athena at Texas All In. I would not mind that. Would not mind that at all. We also got Alex Powell. He says, what about FTR as heels in the feud with Outrunners? Because you're going to need something for them if they beat the Bucks. I wouldn't mind FTR turning heel on the Outrunners. They got this little alignment right now, but if the Outrunners beat the Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles, I think that would be a good way to get FTR back as heels, because maybe they need something. They need something to freshen them up. They're kind of stale as baby faces right now. Backstage, we get Alicia Toot interviewing Willie Uda when Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, and Marina Shafir enter the frame. Pac is growling that he wasn't Uda's partner and that he's preparing to face him on Title Tuesday. Castagnoli cleared the room, told them that he needs time to talk to Uda and allows Uda to get his anger out. Uda was upset about being left in the dark and the group turning on Bryan Danielson, asking how could he ever trust Castagnoli again. Claudio coolly responds by asking if he had ever steered Uda wrong. He handed Uda the AEW World Trios title and said that he would always have Uda's best interests in mind. I'm really enjoying the Willie Uda part of this whole Blackpool Combat Club story. I'm really hoping now, after this segment here, after what we would see in the next matchup, I'm kind of hoping that Willie Uda doesn't turn heel like I think he is tomorrow on Dynamite. I think that you can spread out this story a little bit more, Moxley beating Bryan might be the triggering point, or you do the turn there at WrestleDream might be more impactful, or you do the turn after WrestleDream might be more impactful, because it feels too obvious for Uda to turn heel. Get Uda to kind of go up against, have Bryan's back and go up against his AEW World Trios champion partners for a little bit, and then bringing this aggression out of him and seeing Moxley beat Bryan is kind of the point where he's like, you know what? I'm just going to put my hands down and I'm going to fight with you guys instead of against you guys. I think there is more story potential there where they beat him into submission of joining their side. Speaking of Willie Uda beating people, he was in action up next, going up against my favorite person, Beef. Everybody needs that beef. Beef is here, and he's going up against Willie Uda after Willie Uda beat his second cousin, Anthony Henry. Uda came out scoring a right angle slam. We also see that Jon Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club are watching from the crowd. Uda drop kicked Henry off the apron. He laid in the hammer and anvil elbows on Beef, and then he locked in cattle mutilation for a very quick victory here, just getting the win over 2 minutes. Beef had a sizable advantage in the size department against Uda, but Uda makes short work of him. This aggressive, conflicted Willie Uda is the most interesting Willie Uda that we've ever seen. That's another reason why I don't want him to turn on Title Tuesday, because you got to make him interesting some more. And I think that his final decision should be a big moment, and you got to let the story play out just a little bit more. I know we have short attention spans and we want things to happen right now, but I think there's more story potential if we let it play out just a little bit longer. Just a little bit. We go backstage where Lexi Nair is hanging out with Hook. She talks to him and they talk about the attack on Taz, where Hook tells whoever attacked Taz to show up to Title Tuesday on Dynamite in Washington, and he's wants to go face to face with them, and he's gonna beat the hell out of them. We also get video package highlighting what went down between Will Ospreay and Ricochet in their AEW International Championship matchup on Dynamite 5-year anniversary, and Konosuke Takeshita interfering to cause the no contest. And it's also announced here on air it will be at WrestleDream, the AEW International Championship, defended in a 3-way, as it will be Will Ospreay versus Ricochet versus Takeshita. I'm really looking forward to this, and I think this could be a match of the night candidate. You got 3 amazing professional wrestlers. Will Ospreay, arguably the very best professional wrestler in the game today. Konosuke Takeshita, top 5, top 10 in the world, in my opinion, after his performance in the G1 Climax. And you got Ricochet, who needs to have a star-making performance here. Even if he is taking the loss here, I think he needs to step up in his first pay-per-view matchup in AEW after their tremendous bout on Dynamite 5-year anniversary. This is going to be a big matchup for Ricochet as well. Will Chisholm saying, I feel bad for Kris and Willow because of their booking. Willow should be the woman's biggest babyface. We know she is, but it feels like Tony just half-stepping with her. He just never seems to commit fully. With Willow Nightingale. He takes, half measures, TBS championship, brief run with that, CMLL women's world title. She's won multiple championships. So you can't say that they're half-stepping. They have given her a push, but you can fully make her one of the faces of the women's division, one of the best female wrestlers in the world with a committed full push. I think she's gotten a push where she's won a lot of championships, but she could be, like you said, the biggest babyface in all of professional wrestling. So gotta go bigger with her. We also got here, Alex Powell says, why does Hook look like Jay and Silent Bob character when he wears that beanie? Might be on to something there. Next up, we got tag team action. That's the Conglomeration. Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly with Rocky Romero in their corner faces the premier athletes Ari Daivari and Tony Nese with Smart Mark Sterling and Josh Woods in their corner. The athletes got off to a jump start, but O'Reilly and Cassidy quickly got the good foot and ran wild for a bit before we went to commercial. After commercial, Cassidy crawled through the legs of Daivari to get the hot tag to O'Reilly. O'Reilly ran wild for a bit, leading to a quick flurry from the athletes, though, before Tony Nese hit a beautiful-looking 450 splash for a near fall. Cassidy got the tag back in, taking out both of the premier athletes until Daivari caught him with a lariat. We get the greetings from Asbury Park by Nese on O'Reilly. Cassidy countered with a tornado DDT. Smart Mark Sterling distracted the referee, so Josh Woods pulled Cassidy out of the ring. Romero and Woods started fighting until Smart Mark Sterling hit a low blow on Rocky. That brought out Mark Briscoe, who ran wild on Josh Woods as Cassidy hit a big punch on Sterling. Cassidy caught Nese with the orange punch. O'Reilly started choking out Daivari as Orange hit the beach break for the 1-2-3. The Conglomeration getting a tag team win here. I wouldn't mind watching this matchup, and I'm just going to say this, first of all, they need to stop with Conglomeration versus Premier Athletes. I feel like I've seen this like half a dozen times in the past month, like ad nauseum. There's other tag teams out there, Tony. There's other tag teams, but I like the Conglomeration. Either get the Conglomeration in the trios division with Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and O'Reilly, or I would honestly, I think the best direction for them is put the Conglomeration in the tag team division. The Conglomeration are usually always have delivered either solid to really, really fun tag team matches, trio matches. Put them in the tag team division, make them a potential challenger for the Young Bucks. And I think they can make magic together. I think Orange Cassidy needs something to kind of revive him. And I think in the tag team with a tag team specialist like Kyle O'Reilly might be the direction. I would love to see Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Young Bucks, Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly versus FTR. I think that would be some great matches together, but fully commit to that. I think that just them having the random in the middle of the card matches, it's kind of just there. It's kind of just there. You're not making anyone care about them. Put them in one of these divisions where they can win championship gold and you can actually do something with them. We go backstage and we see that Lance Archer is whooping ass, beating up some geeks backstage when Don Callis pulls up on him. He asks Archer, was he still being managed and represented by Jake Roberts? Archer throws another geek into a truck and then replies, yes. And Don Callis says, interesting. Archer in the Don Callis family, hey, it'll give him some TV time at least. But it might not last more than a couple of weeks. What the fuck happened to Roosh being in the Don Callis family? Roosh done brought back his stable, which I said from the beginning they shouldn't have put Roosh in the Don Callis family because Roosh is better as the leader of LFI than in a group that has nothing to do with him. But you never even closed that book. You never even said, hey, Roosh decided that he's going to leave the Don Callis family and re-up LFI. You just did that angle last week at Collision Grand Slam and never know. There wasn't even any follow-up on either of these shows. What's going on? If I watch week to week, I'm like, what happened to this person? What happened to that person? What happened to this story? What happened to that story? AEW, long-term storytelling. Even on your mid-card, you need to keep some type of cohesion. They need someone who's like, hey, you did this last thing. This is the last thing you did with this person. They need someone that's not even like a writer. They need someone who just pays attention to who's in what story. What was the last thing you did with this person? They need a coordinator, a storyline coordinator. That's what AEW needs right now because it's getting kind of ridiculous. We go backstage. Lexi Nair is with Mercedes Moné and Camille. She puts herself over. She puts Camille over and calls Camille more than a woman, which brings in Kris Statlander walking in, taking umbrage with what Mercedes is calling Camille. She said that she's a born-again Kristen and she has a match tonight and told them to watch, bitches. Okay. So you're telling me you couldn't just do this with Stokely Hathaway? Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck am I watching? Why did you split them? That was a money duo. Stokely Hathaway, Kris Statlander, they were good together. When you find something that works, you keep it going. You don't just drop it out of nowhere for fucking some unexplained reason. You could do the same angle. I'm not upset with Kris Statlander feuding with Mercedes Moné. I'm not upset with Kris Statlander even turning babyface. I am more upset that you're separating her from Stokely Hathaway for no fucking reason. It just doesn't make any sense. Just shaking my head. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? I need them to do that. What are you trying to accomplish? Can you still do it while keeping together the rest of your storylines and then do that way instead of the way they're doing right now? I'm here to help. Just watch Collision Discourse. Watch AE Ramble. I'm here to help you, Tony. Here to help you. Next up, we got Hologram going up in a four-way matchup against Commander, Nick Wayne, and Action Andretti. This was easily the best match on the card. Spoiler alert for match of the night. We get Wayne and Andretti clearing the ring early as the heels before Andretti caught Wayne with a drop kick and a springboard tornado press for a near fall. Hologram sent Andretti to the floor, leading to Hologram and Commander doing some really fun lucha spots. We get Wayne cutting off a Hologram dive before Andretti hits a handspring to Commander. Action hit a rolling thunder off the apron and a 619 to Wayne before a split-legged moonsault to the floor, taking out the people on the outside. You get Hologram running wild. Hologram was awesome in this matchup, just so smooth. He hits one of the craziest double moves I've seen in a while, where he hits a dual suplex DDT combination on Nick Wayne and Action Andretti at the same time. That was great. He does a massive tope suicida to Commander and leads Commander all the way nearly up the ramp. He comes back. He gets a near fall after a 450 splash on Nick Wayne. You get Commander coming in. He hits a springboard head scissors to both Hologram and Nick Wayne before sending Hologram to the floor. Andretti caught Commander with a Spanish fly for a near fall. Hologram caught Wayne with a power slam before Commander caught Hologram with this beautiful looking Canadian destroyer, landing up spiking him on his head. Commander hit a twisting, sick Poison Rana, springboard Poison Rana. Then he hits his rope walk shooting star press. Nick Wayne cuts him off. He hits a wings whirl, spiking Commander on his head. Andretti comes in. He takes out Nick Wayne before Hologram hits a handspring. You get Andretti doing a handspring, which Hologram catches him with an enziguri, and then he follows up with a spinning torture rack into a blue thunder bomb for the 1-2-3. Hologram is now 14-0 in AEW competition. Where the fuck is his title shot? Man, put him in the Continental Division. Have Hologram go up against Okada. Okada has a base where he knows Lucha Libre, and he would be a great base for someone like Hologram. Give Hologram 14-0 a title shot. You got a whole bunch of people getting title shots after one fucking victory. How about Hologram, who's 14-0, get a shot at the TNT title against Jack Perry? Get a shot at the international champion. Give me Will Ospreay versus Hologram. Man, sign me up for that. I think all of us will be down to see Will Ospreay and Hologram on an episode of Dynamite, episode of Collision. What are we doing? What are we doing? Make it make sense. Hologram stole the show last week on Collision Grand Slam with Mortel and Jurlistico, and he stole the show this week with Action Andretti, Nick Wayne, and Commander. Three guys that they're all talented, but they don't win that much, and he still stole the show with them. Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? Will Chisholm says they did him and Jade the same on day. He's not with them. Let's not talk about the MJF faction he was in, and that got dropped also. He never is committed to Stokely Hathaway being paired up with a star. Pairs him up with Jay Cargill, scrap. Let's not even talk about it. This pairs him up with MJF, scrap. Let's not even talk about it. And now Kris Statlander, scrap. Let's not even talk about it. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Still, let Stokely cook. Let Stokely cook. Because when Stokely cooks, man, it's always good stuff. It's always good stuff. Come on, y'all. Send a super chat donation. We got a bunch more people watching now. Remember to drop the thumbs up on the video. Send a super chat donation. Show us some love here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We always appreciate that for sure. Alex Powell says, have Stat versus Camille happen at WrestleDream, then do Monet at Full Gear, and you can do the turn. I think the turn happened. They just did it. They just did a babyface turn. This is, I guess, this is what we got. I guess that was a babyface turn on the show. I think that's what they did here, even though it wasn't really a turn. They just had her go against a heel, and we're supposed to accept that Kris Statlander is a babyface now. There's no storytelling. There was no storytelling with it. We go backstage to Beast Mortels with Lexi Nair. The Undisputed Kingdom walk in, upset that Mortels seem to be lined up with La Faction Ingobernables instead of them. They told him to reconsider as Mortels growled. I love the fact that they're making Mortels the belle of the ball and that all the guys want to axe him to the City Hawking dance. I'm all for that. I'm a Mortels fan. We then get the aforementioned Kris Statlander. She's in action against Zoe Lynn. Lynn jumped Statlander to no avail as Statlander beat the hell out of her, hits her with a gorilla press slam, and then follows up with Saturday Night Fever. After the matchup, though, after Statlander picks up the victory here, out comes Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, alongside Camille. Monet said that while she was impressed, Statlander needed to show her some respect. She sicked Camille out on Statlander, coming face to face with her, boots her down. We get Statlander fighting back against Camille, but after like a knee to the gut, she just turns around at Mercedes Moné, thinking that was enough to keep Camille down. No, Camille gets up, hits her to the roll to Demarcus, puts her down on the mat and walks out with Mercedes Moné. This is not how I would build a challenger for Mercedes Moné, but it's Tony Khan. It's Tony Khan. I'm just really frustrated with this Kris Statlander shit. This Kris Statlander fake babyface turn is like it doesn't make any sense. Like, I just come to your senses. I'm spending like 45 minutes on this one. Just come to your senses, Tony Khan. This doesn't make any sense. Let's go back. Let's regroup and let's actually tell a story and explain why Kris Statlander is not with Stokely Hathaway. If you're gonna separate them, at least come up with a storyline reason. For fuck's sake. Next in the back, we have Darby Allen, and he talks about that Brody King has accepted his challenge. So he is challenging Brody King to come face to face with him on Dynamite Title Tuesday. He noted that while he had beaten King in the past in a coffin match, he had never pinned King. He only beat him in the coffin match, put him in the coffin, and he thought that would be enough, but that wasn't enough. He noted that it wasn't the House of Black that brought Brody King to AEW. It was him. He went to Tony Khan to get King a job, but if King wanted what Allen had, he'd have to work a lot harder. Darby Allen, slowly but surely, is coming one of the best talkers in AEW. It shocks me. It shocks me every time I say it, but it's quite remarkable. Give it up for Darby Allen, improving a underutilized part of his game that he wasn't at a few years ago. Then we get a video package for Emy Sakura, who scored a win on Tokyo Joshi Pro's Wrestle Princess event. She picked up a win against Nakajima, and it was announced that Sakura would get a birthday present a double title match against Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship and NJPW Strong Women's Championship on Title Tuesday. Finally, a title match on Title Tuesday. It's the only title match announced for Title Tuesday, but a title match on Title Tuesday. Way to go, Tony. Finally. And then we had the main event of the show, AEW World Tag Team Title #1 contendership matchup, three-way House of Black, Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews versus Top Flight Darius and Dante Martin versus Private Party Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. The crowd was pretty light for this one, but it kind of picked up as the match went on. Not so much, but quite a bit. Dante and Cassidy started things off, matching evenly for a bit before having a standoff. House of Black followed. They came in and they were doing double team offense on all the guys. Dante Martin came in and he was running wild before we came to a commercial break. It's a nice little frog splash that got her a win recently, but Quinn was able to break up the cover. Quinn took Dante down with a Pele kick before they respectively tagged their partners in. We get a stunner by Cassidy over the rope. Darius comes in with a flatliner. Private Party then caught him with the silly string. Black and Matthews tagged in and hit some wild strikes until Dante took them both down. We get a move train. Everybody's hitting big moves. House of Black catch Isaiah Cassidy coming off the top rope, over the top rope with a tope con hilo and power bomb him, double power bomb into the apron. This leads to Action Andretti coming out. He throws another water bottle at House of Black. Dante Martin is able to take out House of Black when they run after Action Andretti with a big dive to the outside. Cassidy hit a step-up dive to the floor on all the men on the outside, taking them out. And this gives the advantage to Private Party as they hit the gin and juice on Dante Martin for the 1-2-3. And Private Party get 3 straight wins. They beat Iron Savages on Dynamite 5-year anniversary. They scored a huge trios win over the Young Bucks and Jack Perry with a redo of the second episode of Dynamite win that they had. And then here in this triple threat match, they get the victory to become the new #1 contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It will be Private Party challenging the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles coming up this Saturday at AEW WrestleDream. And crazy stat that Private Party noted in their post-show interview, this will be Private Party's first tag team match on an AEW pay-per-view. 5 years. And this is their first tag team match on the AEW pay-per-view main card. That's insane. That's insane. But man, Jon Moxley breaking Isaiah Cassidy's hand was the best thing you could have done for Private Party. You see Private Party doing big things ever since they woke their asses up. They woke their asses up. Jon Moxley, he's a career changer for sure. Badger Stone, good to see you in the chat with us today. He says, how you feel about Kris' new character? Doesn't make any sense, Badger Stone. It doesn't make any sense. Why did you separate her from Stokely Hathaway? She could still be a babyface with Stokely Hathaway. Stokely Hathaway is so entertaining. He's so endearing. He's hilarious. The fans would cheer him even with Kris Statlander. And why is Kris Statlander going for the lower title, the TBS title, while the woman that she beat in the street fight in Chicago at All Out is going for the main women's championship? That doesn't make sense. Just swap them out. Swap them out. It's easy. It's easy, Tony Khan. I'm trying to help you. Really trying to help you here. But yes, there's a lot that I did not like about this show. But there is some stuff I like. So let me know in the live chat what you thought about AEW Collision. Give me your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. For me, for the October 5th, 2024 edition of AEW Collision, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs in the middle for me. There was too much on this show I didn't like, so I cannot honestly give it a thumbs up. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I thought the main event triple threat matchup was a fun one. I thought Hologram once again stole the show. I enjoyed that stuff. I enjoy the Willow Nightingale and Mariah May feud that's been building up. Private Party finally getting a push in their AEW careers. Darby Allen and Brody King being set up for WrestleDream. Those were all good stuff, but just a Kris Statlander nonsensical babyface turn. It's just mind-boggling. And a nothing happening conglomeration versus Premier Athletes. They just face them every fucking week, it seems like. This was not the episode of Collision for me. They phoned it in. It's a taped episode of Collision. It was going against Bad Blood. I understand. You phoned it in, Tony Khan. Do better. Do better. Do better. But yeah, no more half-assing. You got your TV deal. You've gotten through all the 3 straight weeks of special editions of Dynamite. You got to do better now. You got to do better. And he starts with WrestleDream. Do better. Do better on the road to Full Gear and then the Continental Classic going into World's End. We got to do better to close out 2024, Tony Khan, because this wasn't it. Thumbs in the middle, 6.5 out of 10 for me. Match of the night, Hologram versus Nick Wayne versus Action Andretti versus Commander. Awesome, flippy, high-flying spectacle that it was. Hologram is so entertaining. He's so entertaining in the ring. He's just so smooth with the things he could do in the ring, and he always delivers a show stealer on these episodes of Collision. MVP for the show, I'm going to give it to Private Party for winning the main event. Man, Private Party on a roll this week. They've been on all 3 shows from AEW, and they delivered and getting wins on all 3 of them, so thumbs up for that. Private Party. MVP, LVP, Tony Khan. Do better. That is all for me for AEW Collision Discourse number 44. I agree. And yeah, let me just say, the build to WrestleDream might be the worst of the year for AEW. And I did not like the build to Double or Nothing. I did not like the build to Double or Nothing. But the build to Double or Nothing is when the Elite storyline was at its peak, when they were doing some hot closing angles with Jack Perry and the rest of the Elite attacking Tony Khan. Then the next week they attacked Kenny Omega, and they were featured in they had the show-long narrative with them running the show and stuff like that. Darby with the flamethrower on the go-home show. That had some really good stuff, some really strong main event content. The build to WrestleDream, yes, we're still getting some strong main event content with everything going on with the Blackpool Combat Club. Willie Uda putting on some great character work. John Moxley with some fantastic promo work. Bryan Danielson is Bryan Danielson. He's the GOAT for a reason. That is good. Everything else just feels so haphazardly put together. It really feels like he's like, oh shit, I have to hand in my own merch. Let me put my name on top of this and then hand it in. That's what WrestleDream is feeling like. It feels like a very haphazardly put together pay-per-view. So it's been the weakest build of an AEW pay-per-view this year. And I'll talk more about that on AE Ramble this week after Title Tuesday, the Go Home Show. Another special for a Go Home Show. That doesn't make any sense. All right, I've annoyed myself enough. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family. I will see you tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with Rated Raw Review, reviewing tonight's Monday Night Raw. Check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like AE Ramble number 166 renewed with me and Jimmy Rackaram reviewing AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary. Check out the flagship podcast, True Hill Heat 297, where we talked about the latest wrestling news, including The Rock showing up at Bad Blood and the AEW TV rights new deal. Check out our WWE Bad Blood review, where we talked about The Rock's return, Jimmy Uso coming back, reuniting with Roman Reigns, and one of the worst WWE PLEs of the year for me, honestly. And check out True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment for our Power Book to Go Season 4 series finale review with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and Top Guy JJ. Thank you, all of you who joined me live. Thank you, all of you who are watching us on demand. Share this video with all your wrestling fans. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about AEW Collision. Follow us on the Twitter machine at True Hill Heat. And until next time, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Collision Discourse number 44 for the October 5th, 2024 edition of AEW Collision. I am signing off until next.